In the summer of 2022, I was contacted by none other than Phi Manzanera of Roxy music fame. Phil got in touch and asked me if I wanted to build his pedalboard for the Roxy Music 50th anniversary tour. And of course, this is a massive honour. I was delighted to receive Phil's phone call. So we got together and planned the board, planned what we needed the board to be able to do. One thing Phil wanted to be able to do is if he stepped away from the board, he wanted his tech Lucas to be able to have control of the board. So Phil sent me over some pedals that he wanted to use, put a board together for him, wired it all up, and then we got Lucas over to show him how the board works. Hey everyone, Dan here. I'm here with Lucas Polo, who is the tech for Phi Manzanera and Roxy Music. I'm also here with Jake and Joe, who have been amazingly awesome at helping me get this rig together. This rig has got a satellite rig here. So Phil will be on stage, got the board, he's making all the sounds. Actually, let's make some sounds because it sounds quite good. That's what happened. That's what happened to Red, right? It slipped off, and that's how Red's got that massive chunk in there. It slipped off and it hit the edge of the flight case.
Oh no!
Because I thought you haven't learned your lesson.
No. Well, because I caught that, but I thought I was adjusting the mic stand, and I thought, sure, it's going to be okay to take my hand away from here, and now I can't do it. I literally cannot. Yeah. Anyway, right. So, I've got just a couple of sounds set up. So, that's one sound, and we switch over here to a second sound. But if you see over here, as I switch sounds on this G3 here, it also switches presets over here. So the idea is that Lucas can be side of stage whilst looking after 1,000 guitars and amps and everything else. If Phil steps away from the board, Lucas can take control, sort of remote control of the pedal board. So I guess what we need to do today, go through how everything is programmed, because there's so much capability with this. All the MIDI stuff, this is going to be working hard, that's going to be working hard.
Yeah.
Especially considering what Phil, the sounds and everything that Phil creates.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of work for you to do to, you know what I mean? You got, if we look at, going up and down with songs, and you've got to program all those sounds that, So we'll go through all that and, go to the MIDI stuff happening, but audio-wise, I mean, it sounds really great.
Yeah, and it looks fantastic.
Yeah, I'm really pleased. So all the, for anyone else to see, there's all the power and everything is under here. We've got two DP4s here, one for a volume, one for an expression. And, the whammy raised up so that ergonomically it's really easy to get your foot over. But we've managed to do it all in a pedalboard flight case. It's not crazy.
No. It's quite reasonable.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So how long have you been with Phil for?
12 years now.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Phil, working at Phil's was one of the first jobs I ever had.
Okay.
And it was by complete chance. It was through common people that, my mum to send me a text when I had just arrived to London to study music.
Right.
It was like, Phi Manzanera has your number, is going to invite you over for tea. And I was like, yeah, whatever. Surely not. And he did. He just sent me a text, said, come round to the studio. And I became the T-boy.
Right. From
T-boy to roadie, from roadie to, assistant, guitarist, tech, and, whatever he needs.
Amazing.
Bodyguard.
So you've played with Phil?
Yeah. So on his solo project, he has the Sound of Blue band.
Okay.
Which is a bunch of other musicians, including myself. Sonia, who has sung on his latest records. Javi, who has helped me put together the rig as well. The
Okay,
amp,
yeah,
the
yeah.
drummer for Stereophonics.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a really, really fun project.
Wow.
It keeps me on my toes as well. You know, it's anything from Roxy stuff to like 13/8 prog to.
Come on.
Yeah.
Oh man, how
So
awesome.
great fun. Yeah.
How awesome. Okay, so we'll start going through it in the nitty gritty.
The way that it's laid out, it's perfect for Phil because like he, you know, this is something that he knows very well.
Sure.
So from like 1976 or something, he's been using expression pedals.
Right.
So like this is familiar to him, and this is so well laid out that, you know, even if I, you know, had to disappear or like fell
He's
off
not
the
gonna have a
stage,
problem.
yeah,
Yeah,
he'll
he's
be
not gonna
able
have a
to go
problem.
like, you know,
Yep.
he'll be able to read it, you know,
Yep.
introverse, like.
Great. All right. Well, let's get a coffee and get to work.
Very, very cool.
We're here with the dashing Lucas,
Hello.
guitar tech extraordinaire. So here we are. We're in Manchester Stadium, the AO Centre. Look at this place. It's just massive. And here is Phil's rig. So this is the part of the rig that you built. If you want to take us through this before we get to the board, because this looks awesome.
Absolutely. I'll shine a little bit of a light. So this was designed, I have to give him a shout out, with Javier Weyler, drummer for Stereophonics and engineer extraordinaire, also Phil's drummer. And he was a consultant throughout all this period.
Right.
Helped me out so much, making
I believe
certain
I talked
decisions.
to him on the phone. Is that's
Yeah,
him?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So he pointed out all the stupid ideas that I had. And then the guys at 5dB with Jake as well helped us put it all together because everyone's touring at the moment, and John Gothard from Gothard Cases built us this beautiful rack, but we had very little time to assemble it.
Yes.
So here it is.
Look at those. Oh my goodness.
So
How lovely.
these Cornell amps,
Yep.
the serial numbers are 001 and 002.
Very good.
They're brand new. No one else has them apart from Phil, because we wanted to get that Marshall 18-watt sound.
Yeah.
But mostly they come in combos. So we
Right.
found that this was the closest to that sound on a head
Sure.
setup. So yeah, this is the main, and this is the spare. They have some really nice functions, like a really nice treble boost and the edge, which is kind of like a presence control.
Nice.
So yeah, this is just set up for, you know, if something happens, I can just pull the cable
And go into the spare.
and off it goes. Yeah.
So one of the Cornell is going into the ISO box over here, I believe.
Yes.
Yep, okay. Lovely.
And it's being attenuated by the aux.
Okay.
So this was quite a central part of Phil's sound while he was recording at home
Right.
for his last two albums. He just loves it, and
Right.
he insisted that it had to be a part of the sound.
Oh wow.
And not a lot of people use them live, but
No.
it's been a revelation of how useful it's become. Not only because it does something quite nice to the sound, but also because it gives us a stereo line out.
Okay.
So that's very, very handy for the front of house
Yeah, I bet.
engineers.
I bet.
Again, if the ISO box goes down,
You've got that.
we'll still have a
Yeah,
stereo
yeah.
line out, and you
So
know,
it's built
it
in
sounds
redundancy.
so close. Yeah. So that's great. Also, you can dial in a bit of room sound. You can choose different microphones, so you can really tailor the options.
Yeah. The app for that thing is outrageous.
Yeah.
It's so clever.
And in fact, another really useful thing, if I turn the app on, I can monitor the levels at all times.
Oh wow. Okay.
So even before I heard something going down,
you know the
I could
signal.
see it.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, fantastic.
So that's really, really handy.
And this is your remote pedal board.
Yeah.
Here. Yeah.
That you're responsible for. There's a couple of reminders there.
Great. Great, very good. And that's just, you've got 2 MIDI cables back and forward to the stage.
Well, actually, I'll show you on the other side. We're running it through Cat 5.
Oh, are you? Oh, nice. Very good.
Because after consulting with Miller, who's a bit of a MIDI genius,
Yes.
he told me that given the size of the stages we're playing at, the best way to keep MIDI stable would be to use a line driver.
Sure.
We're converting the stereo, well, the 2 MIDI lines into a Cat 5 that just goes into the loom onto the other pedal board.
Brilliant. Very good.
So yeah, here it is.
Cool. Okay.
And I also have to give this a shout out because I've never heard an ISO box that is this quiet.
The Grossman.
Grossman.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I started using one. I've used quite a few before. They've always had this annoying standing wave.
Right.
That was was never quite right.
It's a bit boxy.
I played in this one. It's like, oh, this sounds proper.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a genius.
Quiet.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good.
And here are the guitars that we're using for the tour.
Wow, there we go. Look at those.
The OGs.
So, okay, right. So these are the real ones.
Yeah.
So this is, I've got to say it, this is Phil's old Firebird.
Here it is.
Look at that. Oh my word. Okay. So what year is that?
This is 1963, I believe. I need to double check that. He bought this for 150 quid.
No.
Of a kid, 16-year-old kid. He just went into his house. He looked at it. He didn't even plug it in, and he was like,
"I'll have that."
"I will have that. Thank you very much."
What a
and it's
beautiful
become
thing.
his signature guitar, and it's still in amazing condition.
I remember seeing it on the stand of the studio, thinking, "Oh, he's had his guitar reissued."
Yeah,
Because it looks so clean.
Yeah.
Wow, how amazing.
So he's using it mainly for the classic first album Roxy songs at the moment. Then, we have a 50s Telecaster. Fans might recognize this from the Love is the Drug video.
Oh, wow.
Also the original, also incredible nick. It was redone in the 70s.
Okay.
But yeah.
How beautiful. Look at that. Look at that. My goodness.
And finally, the other guitar that deserves a shout out is this Gibson Custom Shop with Phil's Salamander
no way.
logo on it, which is doing a lot of the heavy lifting.
Yeah, I bet. Oh, how lovely. Look at that.
Sounds super beefy and lovely.
How nice. There it is. Check it out.
Here we have the Mothership.
Yeah, man. Oh, lovely. Turn me off. Okay. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Just a few reminders for Phil as well on stage.
Sure. So the way this is set up, and there's there's your MIDI line driver going down the Cat 5. That's great.
Exactly. It's a bit of a unusual, setup in the sense that the out of the pedal board we're going into these radial TXRX boxes that allows us to go through use a balanced cable.
Right.
So we don't get any
noise from
from the distance, and that is going into an RX box that then connects into the amplifier. Originally, we have a second box because that was coming back all the way from the rack into another balance cable into here, and it was going into that little stage amp that we use for the solos exclusively.
Right, so this is the only noise on stage?
This is the only noise on stage apart from saxes and drums.
Okay, but sorry, it's Phil's only on stage noise, and
absolutely.
It only comes in for the solos?
Only comes in during the solos. Originally, up till the last gig, we had a mute switch, so I would turn the amp on and off for every solo manually.
Okay. Yep.
However, we're having some routing issues, so what I've used is the very, very handy second output of the gig rig.
Great.
and programmed it so only on the solo
Solos,
patch.
the second output comes on.
Yeah.
Oh, fabulous.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, mate, you've kept it nice and tidy. How lovely. Oh, I loved putting this together. It was such a great sounding board.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah, and you know, I love that. You know, one of the first meetings I had with Phil, we're talking about the stuff to use. He said, "I love my OCD."
Yeah. And,
You know, I was like, "Oh, that's
still
really
there.
cool," and it's still there. You know, because it's such a good, great sounding thing.
Yeah, so that's become kind of the main crunchy rhythm sound.
Lovely.
And this pedal that he bought in Sweden,
Oh, he's been shopping.
yeah, this guy that has taken a lot of the solo fuzzy work, basically,
Cool.
with jam pedals sharing some of that.
The fuzz phrase.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. Oh, mate, that's brilliant. Well, what we'll do, we'll get a signal path diagram up so you can all see how everything's routed. But yeah, look at this. This is epic. Unreal. Thank you, buddy.
No worries.
Magic. Well, here we are. The one and only Mr. Phi Manzanera.
Hello.
We're in Manchester Arena with Roxy Music, your 50th anniversary tour.
It is. It's 50 years since we first played in Manchester in 1972
That is
at
amazing.
the Hard Rock Club. Then
Right.
within 6 months we played, no, a year later we played at the Free Trade Hall.
Right.
And here we are 50 years later, playing pretty much the same kind of material,
amazing.
actually, some of the same songs. But
amazing.
hey, let's see how it goes tonight.
So it's been 10 years since you guys have done a big tour like this. Right?
Yeah.
I'm always fascinated talking to guitar players who are also producers
Yeah.
about their approach to guitar, because, like, you know, you're a very well, not just the guitar player in Roxy Music, but you're also a very well-known producer.
Yeah.
With your own stuff, David Gilmour, working with Tim Finn recently. So when you think about a big arena tour like this, and you're thinking about what you need from the guitar, what are the important factors? I mean, you're trying to nail the sounds from the album? Are you looking for a vibe? What is it that you're after?
Well, on this particular tour, because we're celebrating 50 years, we've gone back to listening to the multi-tracks and trying to recreate
Wow.
the sounds from back then. It was all very analog. There were no pedal, well, there were a few pedals and things, but very few options.
Sure.
But so that's why we spent the last 3 months, me and Lucas and Javier and you, indeed, trying to make things, good and to try and approximate the best thing. And so that's it, right? Attention to detail.
Yeah.
And, when I started doing it, I ran through all the systems I'd had set up since 1972.
Wow.
And all the different things and put it on my YouTube
That must
channel.
be quite a list.
Well, actually, not that many, because basically all I use is distortion and echo.
Yeah,
Really.
okay, and because I remember we're talking about the old echo system that you built, doing all the.
Well, no, I had when Eno left,
Yes.
and obviously I used to go through his VCSD synthesizer, but then I had a special module made that I could control with diamond pedals and things like
Okay.
control the filter and the oscillators and things like that. Yeah, so trying to approximate some of the sounds and try to learn to play like I did when I was 21.
Right.
Which is like mad stuff. I don't know how
Sure.
they let me get away with it.
But experimentation
Yeah.
has always been
Yeah.
a part of what you do.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a lot of the tracks where I'm serving the song,
Sure.
so I'm playing certain parts, but there's certain elements in the set where I'm free,
Right.
totally free, and to explore. And every night it's different, and I'm pushing the boundary, my own boundaries with this new gear, trying to create something interesting and different.
Sure.
So that's really the challenge, and those are the bits that I really enjoy, actually more than anything.
So this is the real one. This is the 1963.
Yeah, this is the only one I've got, and I decided to bring it out on tour. A lot of people said, "Wow, aren't you scared of bringing it out on tour?" No, this needs to come out. It's only come out, you know, a couple of times in the last 20 years. So it's bored being in the studio. So it likes to come out and go on a little tour. So that's, you know, like punky, raw sort of sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. This has been a real blast. It was
Thank
honor
you
to
so
make this for you.
and thank you so much for making it. I tell you, what do you think, Lucas? I mean, like we've just had so much fun.
Yeah.
And we've had some great reviews in America.
Yeah.
So it works. It works. Anyway, well done.
Thank you, mate.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Great team.
Cheers guys.
Nice one.